And it's actually a perfect way to stagger because if you have your long-term portfolio, then you have your leaps, you're making money regardless. Like for those of you who got leaps a year ago, you're not as concerned about what's happening right now. Shout out to all the traders who've been following their plan and they're up in this market.
And it's how far you're out too. So like me specifically, I have 3 NVIDIA options. I have one that was expiring this year, and then 2 expiring in 2027. I'm down on the ones that was. I'm down right now on the ones from 2027. I was up 350% on the one that expired this year. So you know what?
Yeah.
I just thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes in life you can't be greedy. You're up 350, almost 400%. So I sold. I sold that one, right? So now it's like one or two things happen. If Nvidia really starts to rally, well, some people, well, that 350 could have went to 700 potentially, but I also have 2 other ones that I already have, so I'm going to make money if it does rally. Like I said, you can't be greedy in life. If it does rally, then I'm already positioned with 2 other long terms. But I'm also not too concerned about this year because even if this year doesn't work out, I essentially have another 18 months after this year
Mhm.
for it to go up. So am I bullish on Nvidia in the course of a 3-year time frame, 36 months?
For
The
sure.
odds are in my favor. Like I
Yeah.
said, anything can happen,
Yeah.
but you got to
Yeah.
put yourself in positions to win,
Yeah.
and you got to have odds that's in your favor.
Yeah, that's why you got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan. Even having multiple contracts, right? So you once you get to that percentage threshold, you're shaving off some contracts. You're letting the profit run. But like you said, we putting these leaps out. The leaps that I'm looking at now, like I got this one here for December of this year. It's with everything that's happened in the market, right? Including today, it's still up 430%. Right? With everything that's happened with the deep sea,
Easy bucket.
right?
Yep.
With tariffs, we're still up 430%. I got another NVIDIA that expires January of 26. That's up 170%. Like with everything that's happened, present day, like these are current stats. And that's why we go further out. So, like you said, 2027. As soon as those tariffs came in, I'm looking out to December of 27. Great. And what am I doing? I'm playing close to the money. Or like I showed people at the mastermind, there's another strategy that we use that
Fire.
the most successful people use. So yeah, these are part of the things that we're gonna learn and execute and implement into our plans.
And the thing about it is, don't be greedy. Okay, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy, and don't go away from the strategy of top companies
For sure.
Yeah.
at discounted prices, long-term holds. It's the same thing with real estate. This is real estate on the stock market. We're looking to buy in the best neighborhood. We met another person from Detroit. He told us something that you want to go to the best.
Hey, shout to y'all, yo, y'all legendary. Woo, baby.
you want to go to the best neighborhoods
Facts.
because nobody's ever thinking that bad's gonna happen in the best neighborhoods, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to the projects and there's a high probability that you're going to get yourself in trouble.
A lot of trouble.
Go to the best neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Find the cheapest house on the best block.
And wait for the value to go up.
Value gonna go up.
That's it. Rehab it, wait and hold. Ask MG. That'll be the strategy, right? Like it's a very good chance that if you buy a condo in Chelsea, it's going to quadruple in the next 20, 30 years. That's a very good chance that's going to happen. So don't go too far. Don't go too far off of. Shout out to my guy Wayne Penn. We grew up together. So he asked me about this stock ATOM, and so I never really looked into it, but it's in the semiconductor space.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking in the semiconductor space, you gotta look at NVIDIA or TSM because they're already discounted. They're already discounted
right now.
Right?
Right now. Listen, those two companies, and we were talking before we started this session of Market Mondays, but like, yo, those are the two most important in terms of in the AI space. Like, though the manufacturer
and in the country
and the number one person that's going to lead inside of the semiconductor space, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, machine learning, NVIDIA. right? Who manufactures for them? TSM.
Yeah.
Who is allocating billions of dollars to development inside of this country? Both of them. Stay there.
For sure.
There's some other
And
ones.
I
There's
know
some other
that
ones.
ATOM is cheaper, but it's like basketball. Like the best players get the highest amount of salary per year. There's a reason why this one is at $397. I know the thought is, what if it goes to $15 because all the value's been knocked out of NVIDIA, quote unquote. But they have some monsters there. Like AMD could buy them right now and not blink an eye
Yeah,
and
it's
invest
like,
in the best quality.
and Wayne, he'll probably understand this even more. Like, the NFL draft is coming up, right? And so they always do comparisons. They're like, "Yo, Cam Ward is going to go number one. What's his comparison in the NFL at his peak?" He's like, he has Mahomes tendencies. We're like, well, Mahomes, like this is somebody who's done things that nobody's ever done in football, right? Somebody who could potentially be the greatest. Not saying that Cam Ward can't potentially do that, but you'll never hear somebody say like, his comparison is Blake Bortles, right? It's Jamarcus Russell, right? Like, everybody's not going to be the greatest player of all time. You already have the greatest company in the history of the semiconductor space right now.
Today.
That is thriving and has potential to continue to have a run over the next 5 to at least 7 years because they're so far advanced. Go with them.
That's a fact.
And once again, their all-time high was back in 2021 when the chip space is hotter than ever. If you made your most recent high 4 years ago, can't do it.
I got about 10 that I would put before that.
Can't do it. So
easily.
Shoot me a text.
So
I'll list 10 that are better than that one.
For AMD, TSM, Micron. Hell, I'll put Intel. Intel's better.
Qualcomm, Applied Materials.
Yeah, that's a bunch.
Lam Research.
Yeah,
that's probably 10 right there, bro.
Yeah, can't do it.
Okay. Or I'm surprised you go get an ETF.
ETF,
and go see what the ETF fund has. It. Where's that allocation at? Is it even in the top 20?
No.
No, I can't do it.
We're gonna talk about ETFs.
All right. Before we bring our guest on, another question. My guy Elijah, shout out to Elijah. He's out in Dubai. He said, okay. He said, should I put option puts on a company like LVMH, being that LVMH right now is down. Luxury brands are down across the board right now. In recessions, people spend even less money. China's going away from them. They having manufacturing problems in America. They said that they can't even make their bags correctly.
They try to pay us to do them $17 an hour.
Is this a time to put a put on LVMH?
One of my more famous quotes is that the market is permanently rigged to stay up. So if I told you hypothetically, on the low, me, Troy, and Rashad owned Dior, Tiffany, Moet, Sephora, and Givenchy, would you want to bet against us long term, or would you want to buy? LVMH, it's not talked about it like this, but it is the luxury ETF, luxury index fund. I know it's went down. The time to maybe have expressed that idea would have been in 2023. It's getting to almost a buy opportunity. Like if it gets to maybe 481, 46, I like it long term for LVMHF. If you're looking short-sighted, maybe, but everybody in China is exposing how to make a luxury bag. A lot of that is propaganda. Now, is there incredible markup on it? Yes, but I'm not betting against the luxury market and definitely not betting against LVMH, given the powerhouse that they are. And we also have to say too, stop shorting the market and trying to have puts or shorting the futures market when the bottom is almost here. There isn't much room for it to go to the downside, and I don't want you to get hurt long term. So my answer for sure is no.
Yeah, it's tough to do puts when there's uncertainty. I mean, this is so uncharacteristic of any market that I've seen, right? Like,
sure,
2 weeks ago we were down 2,200 points on the Dow, and then 2 days later we were up 2,600 on the Dow. and then the next day we were down 900. So, and especially when people are doing puts, and that's a little bit different than the calls because those are more short term, right? A call I can put out leaps on, but when you're doing puts, you want to make that short term because you know on the other end of the probability is that the market is going to appreciate over time. So you make it short term, you make it 3 to 6 months. Some people will do it 1 month, but even in that 1 month, like something could change, right? Like if he doesn't announce yesterday, if there wasn't an announcement that there was going to be semiconductor tariffs, right? Like there was a suspension Saturday, and then if that doesn't happen Sunday, and you had puts on Apple, you'd have been shot,
destroyed,
and there would have been no recovery from that because the market would have been on a run. Now Wednesday, tonight he might say something, and that could change again. So the volatility and the uncertainty around doing short-term investments, especially in calls and puts, it's tough to do in this type of market. But one thing we know that especially America, and this is what the world relies on, is that we're consumers. Even during the pandemic,
consumption went through the roof. And if he's in New York, it would behoove you go to the little Louis store and just try and get lunch. It should look like a zoo in there. I went in there. I said,
reservations till 2027,
bro. Oh, I'm such a big fan of you. I would love to get you in, but come back in 3 weeks. I'm here now. Can I get a coffee now or no?
Not now.
Nah, not now. Nope.
Yeah.
When they're selling chocolates for $90 in a little box, ooh, profit margin crazy. I would not short Louis.
Yeah. We
Versace, which has been misrun for a long time, which is bought for $1.5 billion by Prada.
Yep.
No, now's not the time.
We sat down with the CEO. He said the core 4 or core 5, those are the ones that matter for the company. The other ones, it's cool if they bring up, they do their part, but we need the core 5 to make sure that they're doing it.
Yep.
Shout out to Louis.
Yeah. Better to do a call on Louis for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Okay. So NVIDIA CEO says that they're weathering the storm for tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
So given the landscape, do you believe semiconductors are still the best long-term tech bet in this fractured global economy?
1,000%. 1,000. Okay, this is the equivalent of the assembly line when Ford was out. Like there is no more important investment. So much so Apple lied about their intelligence and AI in a commercial. I know HQ, you tired of me talking about it, but until you write the ship, I won't. Sorry. But yes, this is like water to our economy. And I would argue if we didn't have an NVIDIA or the semiconductor space, I don't know how bad we would be down in this market. So yes, I don't think anything is better to invest in long term, given like the next 5 or 7 years. Because whoever wins this race is really going to win the global war over the next 50 or 60 years.
So much. This is the race that we have to win. It's the race that we're in the lead in. In every investment that we just said, I'll run the numbers again. NVIDIA, 500 billion, Apple, 500 billion, Amazon, 100 billion, TSM, 100 billion, Microsoft, 80 billion, Meta, 65 billion. All those numbers from the Mag 7 and including TSM tell you that this is the space that you have to win. And all the investment in the CapEx spend is showing that we want to win. So if they're investing in it, then chances are you should be too.
Because if we don't get this right, we don't get quantum, then we don't get all the derivative works going.
That's when it's really over.
Yeah.
No, really over.
Yeah.